All right, let's get to Bill Belichick and his girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Well, Coach, I'm thinking you are. This is really awkward. Have you guys heard this story? So Bill Belichick sits down with CBS, and it's for CBS Sunday morning. Yeah. They have a news magazine show. I've watched it since I was wee high to a grasshopper. It's a CBS News feature show. And listen to the questioning here, and listen to Bill Belichick's girlfriend abruptly jump in and stop the interview because of a certain question.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that's the
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on.
Bro, okay, so Bill Belichick is sitting down for an interview with CBS News, and his girlfriend is acting as a watchdog.
So, before you get to this moment, there's some context that I think is very valid, that because on this particular topic, I find this topic so fascinating that I've listened to probably 10 or 12 different outlets kind of talk about it, and obviously TMZ's got the scope on it, and so there's a lot of opinions on what's going on here. One of the most fascinating things about this topic, in my opinion, is this concept of who Bill Belichick was when he was a Patriot versus who he is now.
What his persona was.
Right. Because his persona was, it graduated over the years from being a red ass to being literally a piece of comedy every week, right? He was iconic for how he handled the media. He had built a reputation that he was a control freak in the facility, that he wasn't going to put up with anything with the media. Like, he wasn't going to give you the answer. Like, that's who we knew Bill to be. Bill leaves the Patriots, and even most people kind of point to that timeline where that negotiation of if he was going to stay or go or what happened there as the beginning of the change for Bill. Because if you think about it, and we have this bite where they ask him, hey, like, what was it like to leave the organization? Were you fired or was it mutual? And listening to this bite, I kind of feel like Bill Belichick is more about like his sort of personal pride than just sort of handling things the way he used to handle it.
You were treated with dignity and respect when you were let go by Robert Kraft?
Yeah, well, it was a mutual decision for us to part ways.
He said fired.
It was a mutual decision.
It's so awkward.
So, and I agree, it is very awkward, and I think that the other important thing to understand here, as far as like the whole situation with this interview, it was only Bill Belichick and his girlfriend Jordan Hudson, just them showing up. There was no UNC personnel, no PR team, no nothing.
And this is supposedly, and I think this is important, this is supposed to be a press tour for his new book. And the interesting thing is, he wrote an email, allegedly, Bill Belichick, wrote an email to his publishing team. And this girl, Jordan Hudson, his girlfriend, leaked it on her Instagram. First of all, that right there should be some kind of shocking. Bill Belichick is a wildly private guy. And in this email, he goes on about how she is there, like he has given control of the title of the book. And he goes on to talk about how the book, which is called The Art of Winning, Lessons from My Life in Football. You know, like he said, this is about what I expect from the media. I have at times reluctantly gone along with the title, coverage, and language of the book. So wait, let me get this right. You had no say, Bill Belichick, over the title, cover, and language in the book? Come on. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that. And you look at all of this stuff and you look at the impact and clearly the change that Belichick has undergone since he and this woman, Jordan Hudson, got together. And you understand now why there are reports that North Carolina is very concerned about their relationship. They're very concerned about the impact this woman's having on Belichick. And his family, Bill Belichick's family, is very concerned about his well-being with this woman, Jordan Hudson, in the picture. People are quite concerned about his, I think elder abuse is strong. How does she have so much control over this guy?
Yeah, so I don't think that this is a case where Bill has lost his, facilities or something. That's not what this is. In my
Certainly
opinion.
not.
I think that this is Bill Belichick got fired from the job he had for decades, from all the success, the prestige, the highest of highs. And in my opinion, I think this is a dude who gets fired from his job and, sees an opportunity to maybe live life a different way, right? To be more out there, to have more fun with it, to be, to explore the personal side of himself, right? Like to say, I've been such a professional, I've been such a machine, such a juggernaut at what I do, that maybe this is the right time for me to go out and explore this side of my life. But I do think the concerns are valid, mainly because Jordan is so hell-bent on not talking about how they met. And
why is this a big deal? This story about them meeting on an airplane over a book.
Here's my problem with the airplane story. I got a real hard time believing, and maybe I'm wrong, but I have a real hard time believing a guy of Bill Belichick's stature is just flying commercially regularly all the time for all his travel. I got a real hard time with that. And the reason I have a real hard time with that is because this dude's papered up to the eyeballs, bro. This dude has made money. He is well off. Like you're telling me that you jumped on a commercial flight and you just ran into this girl and you guys hit it off and fell in love? Like you went from being a Hall of Fame caliber NFL football coach to being a commoner? Like, with all due respect, that doesn't add up, dude.
And the story is that Belichick and Hudson met on a a commercial flight and had a discussion about the book she was reading, this deductive logic. And her story is that they hit it off and he autographed the book for her. And this is from TMZ. And this is supposedly the book that he autographed. And as the story goes, the rest is history. And I just don't know that I'm not saying they're lying. I just don't know why wouldn't you want to talk about that? That's actually a really good story.
Right. But that's what suggests they are lying. That and I think that the word concerned, like with Bill's family and with UNC officials, comes in when you start thinking about, all right, well, Bill maybe is pretty unplugged from social media, and like I think we could all agree that this isn't some guy who's on his phone constantly. Like that's not who Bill is. And I don't think that, especially when it comes to your phone, you're either someone who loves social media and you're on your phone a lot and your phone is kind of your thing, or you're someone that is trying to be off your phone as soon as possible after work because you're sick and tired of it. And Bill is the guy that's sick and tired of it. Bill is the guy that's not, he referred to Instagram as Insta Snap Face. Like, come on, dude. We know who you are. So my point here is that you're pushing this narrative of, hey, we met on a commercial flight, I signed the book, and that's how we kind of hit it off. But the story is not well told.
No.
Like, that's a very
Not at all.
generalized way of saying this is how we met. And for the record, I'm totally down with the concept of, hey, Bill's a private guy. Okay, cool.
But why does he need a watchdog?
Yeah. One, why does he need a watchdog? But then two, in the interview bite, why are you so aggressively just saying, we're not talking about this?
And Pro Football Talk said, because it's odd, I can tell you, having been back in my younger years, I actually produced segments like this, where you have, I worked in network television where you have a talent interviewing a subject, and the producers are standing off camera. Like, you're literally standing there, ready to provide information, or because it's not abnormal for when you're doing a one-on-one interview like that, for the interview to stop and there to be editing, and like you're cutting away and you're putting in, like, it's not abnormal to stop. ProFootballTalk.com is reporting CBS included that bite of her interrupting that question because she interrupted many questions and interrupted the interview repeatedly to the point of being a nuisance.
Yeah, well, what did they? Because if you listen to the narration in the clip, they said that they said something like she was all over this or something. Like, her presence was like, I can't remember what they said, but in the clip they reference it.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that that's the
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on.
Okay, so if it wasn't on an airplane talking about a book that he signed for you, what was it?
Right.
Because now you have to think of, was it an OnlyFans thing? Was it some nefarious sex worker situation? What was it?
What do you have to hide?
What do you exactly? What do you have to hide?
Yeah. What is the? Because I think your best point, the whole thing that ties this back together is why they were doing the interview. Right. This is about Bill's book.
This is about promoting his book.
So there shouldn't be anything to hide.
And how on earth did you end up as his PR person for? He's got a whole publishing house.
Yeah, and this is the thing I think we need to delve into, because I think this is really the meat and potatoes of this conversation. Homegirl is somehow now his girlfriend, his publicist, and apparently just running whatever he's doing. Because the other thing, and this was reported, I think this was like a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
All this video and pictures, and we never were able to get to it because it was such a secondary story at the time, but of her on the field at UNC practice and like running around and like so the troubling portion of this is not that I think Bill Belichick has lost his facilities or the man is just not capable.
I don't believe that at all.
I don't buy that at all. I think this is a classic case of Bill Belichick is just not in his element anymore. He's not in the facility every day like he was. He's not, like, life has changed for Bill, and Jordan is now this I mean, I hate to say this, but now this problem that you have to deal with. And at some point, Bill Belichick is the old man in his rocking chair on the porch who's going to say, I'm done with this, bro. Like, I like you or I love you or whatever, wherever they're at with this, but I can't do this with you anymore. You can't be my publicist
And
anymore.
I totally understand that, dude, sex is amazing. If you're 73 and you've got a 20-something-year-old hottie, hey, I get it. You're willing to put up with a little more, right? You're willing to neck on the field at UNC. You're willing to have her walking around. I totally get that. But the problem is, this is CBS News.
Yes.
You're selling a book. You're selling a book.
And it's damaged your persona.
And your girlfriend is consistently and constantly interrupting the interview to the point where CBS put it in as part of the story that your girlfriend was constantly interrupting the interview.
Facts.
They could have left that out.
Constant presence.
But no, they didn't leave it out. And I think it's one of those things where
this is a classic example of, hey, life changed. You needed something to spark your fire. For the record, I don't buy that they met on a plane. I'm just going to say that. I don't buy it. I'm not saying it was nefarious. I'm not saying Bill cheated on his wife or something.
I don't think so.
But what I'm saying is I don't buy that story. And I don't buy it because if it was a cute, heartwarming story that, we could all get behind and it made Bill look really good and it was all hunky-dory.
But now it doesn't feel like
Now
that.
it doesn't feel that way.
It
So now
feels
I don't
like-
believe you.
Was she and I don't think she's a sex worker of any kind but isn't that the first thing we all go to? Is this a Julia Roberts? What was that movie where Julia Roberts was a hooker and Richard Gere was rich and Pretty Woman? Right? Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts. Like, is that what this is?
Yeah, Pretty Woman.
It's awkward now. The stadium guy, James. Belichick flies first class. He's not hanging out with the ordinary people.
You don't get it, dude. You can't, with all due respect, bro, you can't be serious with this.
Why? What do you mean?
Bill Belichick should be flying private, not first class.
Net jets,
private, not commercial, bro. That's why I don't buy it. I don't buy it either. Because this is, dude, we're not talking about some rookie in the NFL who can't afford a private jet. Dude, I understand that we're out of Ricolas and that's why the show is going sideways right now. No, but seriously, I understand that maybe not everybody wants to have their own private jet, but I got news for you, bro. You don't have to own your own private jet to fly private.
No, you don't.
Dude is making stupid money. He is a millionaire many, many times over. Don't sell me or try to sell me that this guy has to fly Southwest next to homegirl taking a dump on the seat from yesterday's show. That's not Bill Belichick, bro.
And now I think what's going to happen is this question is going to haunt him until he decides to answer it.
So if you didn't meet on a plane,
and if you don't answer it, somebody's going to answer it for you.
Yeah. And someone's going to be forced to answer it for you because you allowed your girlfriend to do this. And that would be my question to Bill. If I could stand in Bill Belichick, if I could be buddy interviewing Bill in a very different feel of an interview, homegirl wouldn't be there. It would be much more official. It would be a lot different. Like if I could interview him, I would ask him simply, hey, why is it that Jordan is your publicist and has so much control over what happens in an interview? Because we're here, and this is literally what I would say to him. We're here to celebrate you, man. Like you've written a book, you've had a storied career. You're at UNC now in a time in college football that has never been seen before. Like we're not here. This is not an interview to pick Bill apart, man.
No.
This isn't some political debate. This isn't, Donnie versus whoever. Like this is Bill Belichick, man. So don't tell me that Jordan needs to be here to protect Bill Belichick. Jordan is not wanting to talk about that for a reason. There is a specific reason why she doesn't want to talk about it. And my worst fear, and again, this is just me speculating, my worst fear is that Bill probably doesn't appreciate the severity of the media scrutiny he would
Maybe
get.
he just doesn't care.
And that's fine. But what you can't do, here's the deal. It's okay to not care. That doesn't mean that people are going to look at you more favorably.
Yeah.
If you don't
I would
give a
agree
damn.
with that.
Like people are still going to look at you negatively. And at some point you have to care about that. Because what I don't want to see happen is I don't want to see a Hall of Fame head coach from the NFL who's now trying to be a maker of men, be outed for meeting a girl in a nefarious way and then lie about it. That's
it's
what
tough.
I don't want to see happen.
It's tough. I mean, it's very difficult. I think it is.
I mean, can we not have any nice things in this world, bro? Like, how hard is it?
Yeah, I think it's tough. Noel Ramirez, man, come on, Bill. All those years of me fearing you and Jabrady as a kid, and you're gonna go out like this. Shake my head. It's a damn shame.
Yeah, we're really focused on Philadelphia right now.
Joseph Harper, Bill meet her on OnlyFans? Nah, I don't.
Focus on the Jets today.
I don't think so. Looks like she's his personal assistant and she's proactive. I think CBS is trying to jab her. It's a weird relationship for sure, but it's being overblown. I don't think it's being overblown. I'm telling you, it's weird not to have somebody from the publisher at an interview with CBS News. That's really strange. He's there promoting a book. You went on CBS News with a torn sweatshirt from Navy?
Another great question.
Right? It just makes you wonder.
Was that Jordan telling him how to dress so he could look cool?
I don't know. Damian Fowler says cringe. Boyd Lake, that's vintage Belichick. It was mutual on to Cincinnati.
I'm not talking about that.
Right? It totally is. He has to hit that at least 21 times a month, wouldn't you? Hey, man, every guy's got to meet that 21 times a month.
Can you do something for me?
Yeah, you got to meet that 21 times a month, man, to stay healthy. Lopes fan Gabe, so do we get to see Hoodie's nips today or nah? You know, I mean, just because you asked, I don't.
Oh, dude. Okay, I'll go with you.
I don't
Gabe.
want to put this out there.
Buddy meet Jordan?
Is that what he's out there looking for?
Is that what he's doing here? Did he say, you know what, Jordan's inside, she's ready to go, I'm ready to go, but maybe I don't have a wrapper, so I got to go out to the car and I got to do it without a shirt on, and the nips are fully out, and I got caught on the Ring doorbell.
And remember, last time we showed this picture, somebody said that it looked like Bin Laden's compound.
Bin Laden's compound.
That was one of the comments. Boy, it looks like he's at Bin Laden's compound. Did Belichick and Bin Laden?
Bro.
I don't think he has. I mean, he's not loaded like Bryson's loaded. Like with that kind of howitzer. Jake's favorite golfer there. Okay, we should probably. My point is, I don't know what my point is. I just wanted to show the picture.
Are they hiding something?
Yes. How could you? If you say no, I don't know what else they could be doing. Why do you not want to talk about where you guys met? That's a great part. That's one of the most important parts of any great love story. Where'd you meet your girlfriend, Jake? Okay, Grinder, different.
Boom.
Like what?
Nothing.
Anyway, I met my wife, at the grocery store over some tomatoes. It was amazing. Where you met your girlfriend or wife? Mutual friends hooked us up. It was a blind date. Like, that's one of the questions everybody asks.
Don't lie to me.
Where did you guys meet? Why is this a problem?
And in all fairness, the question specifically was, how did you meet?
Yeah, how'd you guys meet?
Yeah.
Remember Al Pacino on Any Given Sunday wanted to have a real relationship with the prostitute, and she just said, you know what my prices are? Ooh, Al Pacino.
And we were saying that.
Al Pacino just had a baby, and he's like 168. Boyd Lake, of course, the rest of the fam is worried about his assets and inheritance. She's certainly a force to be reckoned with. Could be. Stadium guy, Belichick flies first class. He's not hanging out with the ordinary folks. True. Brandon Butler, better than saying they met at Crafty's massage parlor.
Doesn't make you feel responsible.
Bob Kraft ain't never getting away from that. Wasikowskinator, don't go chasing waterfalls, Bill. Exactly right. What do you got there, Bill? The Fountain of Youth?
It is what it is.
Boyd Lake, how big of an ego play is writing all your Super Bowl years in the signature? That's the first thing I noticed. The first thing I noticed when I looked at this picture. His signature has all their Super Bowl wins under it. Just the numbers and then champions. Thanks for giving me a course on logic. Safe travels. That was from 2021.
Yeah. My ass, he's flying commercial during COVID.
But I think obviously
the coronavirus.
The only thing, if we're being honest, the only thing that makes sense is what you said earlier, in that maybe he was burning the wick from both ends, if you will.
I don't know.
You know.
I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
He was married until 2023, right? So if you're married in 2023 and you met the side piece
macaque
in coach class in 2021,
telling you, dude, I'm not buying it.
Does the data,
dude?
So
the math doesn't math.
He got divorced in 2023. This is signed February 11, 2021.
Yeah, whatever, dude. They're hiding something, bro.
Maybe that's what it is.
And now the interesting thing is going to be, how much does Jordan talk now? Right? Hey, because you don't get to have it both ways with the media. You're going to be his publicist. You're going to be repping him. Now you're his rep.
I think it's so low cash that she Instagrammed that email.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You don't air dirty laundry like that. I think it's
not great, dude.
That's not great at all, right? That's not great at all. Delaric, she worked at the parlor that Kraft went to. Okay. Urban Meyer meets all his co-eds
I'm sorry.
On Grindr.
I'm sorry.
No, he meets them at his bar.
Johnny, dude's name isn't Urban, okay? It's Pervin.
It's
Thank
Pervin
you.
Liar. Thank you.
you.
The side chick is now the main chick.
Apparently.
Moving up in the world. Rock and rant. Bill Belichick at UNC. Insert your favorite train wreck gif here, dude. At what point does he get back to footballing? Because all he has to do is coach games. He's got an incredible staff. Mike Lombardi, not of the least of which, right? I mean, come on. He should be saying thank you, Tom Brady. Well, and Tom Brady should be saying thank you. Mike Smith. He met her in a business in a foreign country that used red streetlights. Ooh, come on. Does it ever work when you're that old dating somebody that young?
Oh, okay. I thought we were going a little different direction there.
What do you mean?
Does it ever work? Come on.
Look, just because you can't run the flag up the pole most nights doesn't
Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip.
Yeah, I mean, just, are you going to thank me for that drop? I made Jake get that drop, right? Because I do think that's part of this. Does that dynamic ever work? I mean, you look at Al Pacino, bro. The guy is dating. He's like in his 80s. She's in her 30s, I think. I mean, Al Pacino's 83. It's his fourth child and his first son at the age of 83.
Hot ass.
It's
I don't know,
50-year age gap.
I don't know.
That's wild to me. Does that ever work? I don't think that ever works. I don't. We talk about this all the time. Like, I'm the guy who says, if you're a man, you need to have a kid, preferably a son, as early as you can. Get the travel ball fees out of the way as soon as you can. And then go play golf on amazing golf courses around the world, right? That's my philosophy. I'm not kicking out little Jimmy at 83 years old.
Hey, 2 holes.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Jay McClanahan, 70-ish and 20-ish, she is selling him something.
Apparently.
She's beautiful. I don't think, and I don't think there's anything wrong with saying she is a beautiful woman. But her looks are meaningless when you're doing the things that she is doing.
Schemers trying to control their little world.
She is an invasive part of his life at this point. And I think his friends and colleagues have every right to be concerned.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're concerned about his inheritance. I think they're worried about him. And I hope they're all wrong. I hope everything is totally fine. And
yeah, somehow I don't see that.
I don't see that either. I really don't see that either. They were using the dating app called Mile High Meetup.
Oh, okay. Not Signal. Got it. Okay.
And that's not MEAT up, right? As in meet up. That's MEETUP, like meetup. We're going to meet up at a Mile High, not meet my meet up.
Okay. It's not a meet thing, but a meet thing. I see. It all kind of works together.
Different kind of meets.
Right.
I'll be 52 in 2 weeks. I married someone who is 2 years older than me. Maturity matters. I love spending time with my wife. Belichick is old enough to be her grandpa. Ditch her. Okay.
My bad.
Love is not transactional unless she's a pro. And I don't think she's
hot.
I don't think she's a pro. Right? Bill Belichick can date anybody he wants. But it's what we see happening to him and around him that has people concerned. It's not ditch her. She's a human being. But if she's a problem, you got to take action. Johnny Gonzalez, Anna Nicole Smith was 26. Her man was 89. Oh, young love. And he was dead. And then there were lawsuits. Wasikowskinator, last relationship was a 16-year gap, nothing over 20. Okay. So 20 now. If you're 50, you can date nobody younger than 30.
21.
Can you do something for Bill? I would tend to agree with 20 years is probably okay. Plenty of May, December relationships out there in the world, and in almost every one of them have one thing in common. One of the people in the relationship is rich. Well, absolutely. I don't disagree with that. Jay McClanahan, question, will she be on the sideline at games at UNC? That's not a real question. Oh, you mean that's a statement of fact? Because I think she will be. How would she not?
Facts.
Right? Noel Ramirez for $5. Plot twist, she's the daughter of an ex-Patriots player, Bill Cutt, and it ruined her family, and she's out for revenge.
Oh.
Could be.
Maybe it'll be in the book.
Could be. Maybe she's a Peyton Manning fan. And Twomey ruined it. And now she's going to take it out on Bill. One never knows.
Yeah.
Maybe she's a late descendant of Drew Bledsoe. One never knows. Bitterness. So Oak State, James, and Monty are the same age. Don't start. Gumby? I am, in fact, 52. You know.
Are you a fan of like 25 teams? You know, are you rocking?
No, see, James and I don't have much in common. I think my wife is incredibly hot. She's beautiful. I think that I am a fan of Notre Dame football and the Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Cubs. I don't have 37 different college football teams I'm, a fan of. I'm not like Oak State James. I would never support the scumbag Kansas City Chiefs.
You fucking donkey.
Never. Well, you know what, Monty? I flew over Arrowhead Stadium in a plane.
I saw Bill on the plane, and you know what? I asked him to sign my Pedo Priest book that's coming out in November, and he wouldn't do it.
Nope. But he did say that they could use an IPF at the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, I flew over the Trop in Tampa. I'm a Rays fan.
They still haven't quite put the roof back on that thing, but if they put an IPF in the parking lot, that'll allow them to hold supplies there, and they'll fix the stadium faster.
Goddamn wind.
Yeah.
James takes so much beating for the things he said on this show. Welcome to the nightmare. Here's to you, Mr. Robinson. Bill, exactly. That face, though, well, 52 is the new 50. Could be. My wife is this morning, while those of us who like to sleep were awake, my wife gets up early. And so she has the Amazon Alexa lights, right? The Hue lights. I get up at 5 o'clock every day. The last 15 minutes of that sleep are critically important. So why would you have the Amazon lights come on at 4:45? And it wakes me up at 4:45. Probably need to change that schedule. But my wife this morning did a pretty vigorous Peloton bike ride and then went and got on our Peloton treadmill and did a run because she has 3 weeks until she does a swim, bike, run triathlon.
Bro.
How
did the 10K go?
Very well. She did very well. Yeah, there's stories I can't tell you, but she did very well. She did very well. Bill and Jordan call their bedroom the IPF with a chandelier upper deck. I would agree with that. Look, I hope that this is what they're doing in their bedroom too. Like, I mean, hey man, if you're 73 and you're still doing calisthenics with your girl's body weight, knock it down, dude. Knock it down. Do it. Like, I'm telling you, all day, plant that garden. Let's go. Prenup.
Or don't marry at all.
No. Prenup.
Don't fuck.
Hey, if you're going to be involved, see, people think prenuptial agreements or the spirit of a prenuptial agreement only matters if you're getting married. Au contraire. No. If you're going to be in a committed relationship where you're doing calisthenics together, suspended from the ceiling,
I need a dick.
if we're going to be doing circus tricks in the bedroom, I need a written agreement. You're not getting all my stuff.
Holding the dick.
Well, that better be in the agreement. Monty's wife is a lot like my wife.
Oh, God, dude. Don't mess it up, James. Dude, what's the rest of the comment say?
Charming, intelligent, well-spoken, and likes sports. But I think my wife's hot. My wife today, you want to know what kind of wife I have? She texts me in the middle of the day. Hey, what time do you want to see The Accountant 2 on Saturday night? Gold. Done. Forever. Right? Like, my wife is thinking ahead because she knows The Accountant is one of my favorite movies, and The Accountant 2 comes out this weekend. So she already got me movie tickets for this weekend. And she's hot. I'm just saying. Circus tricks like making the seals clap, that's what I'm saying.
Making the seals clap. Wow.
Macaque.
Yesterday I gave you guys a little latitude on the Southwest pooper story. We're not doing seals clapping today.
Hiscock.
Well, again, I mean,
Well, Monty, if you see it, you got to kick it. You know? Team lean.
If he can't even speak at his own interview, how will that prenup go over? Not well, but that's why you have lawyers. Prenups are not personal. It's business. It's business. Damian Fowler, maybe she was Robert Kraft's masseuse that he solicited and introduced her to Bill. I'm not saying that Robert Kraft solicited a masseuse.
Oh my God, just like that.
I don't know anything about that. Rock and Rant. I've done many promo tours for artists, celebs. Never seen one done with press where no one from management and the publisher studio label wasn't present. Not AC/DC, not The Rock, not Beyonce. I'm telling you. And much like Rock and Rant, I can tell you like Jim Rome show stories. I was a producer on Jim Rome's TV show. And not only was I a producer, I was the talent booker on Jim Rome's TV show. One of. And I can tell you Snoop Dogg. So we used to do a segment on Fridays where we would mix sports jocks, like personalities, broadcasters, athletes. And we would have rock and roll guys in, rappers in. We had Snoop Dogg, Tom Morello, like all these great guys. Not one of them showed up on their own.
Yeah.
Not an athlete selling a book. Not one single athlete selling a book showed up on his own. Because the publisher is going to lose money if that book doesn't sell. So I'm with you. And I said this earlier, Rock and Rant. I've never seen that happen. Now, candidly, I've seen agents step into the middle of an interview and say, we're not going to talk about that specific topic, and interrupt a one-on-one interview. I have seen that happen. I've never seen a girlfriend or a wife multiple times during a sit-down interview. And when I worked for Jim Rome, he was the biggest sports personality on the planet. Never, not one time did I see, when Kobe came in or whoever you want to point to, the biggest stars came in. Not one time ever did I see a girlfriend or wife interrupt an interview, especially when it was media. We used to have, when I was a national talk show host, I had to deal with Red Bull. And Red Bull would give us all of their biggest endorsers. Reggie Bush comes to mind. Reggie Bush, when he was a Saint, made a big splash when he said on our show, I think the Saints can go undefeated. That interview ended. I had like 2 more hours left in the show. Red Bull was burning my phone up because they were pissed that we didn't talk more about Red Bull. Now the story was about Reggie Bush saying that they could go undefeated and not Red Bull. When somebody is sitting in front of you to talk about a book, in this case, they damn well better be talking about the book, and the girl better not be the story. The book needs to be the story. And it is a very bizarre thing.
Which begs the question, was she his girlfriend in that moment or his management team?
And I think my feeling is they don't want it out that she may have been an extramarital affair. That's my opinion. The dates don't match up. He got divorced in 2023. The book was autographed in 2021. My opinion is that she probably views herself as a woman of class and esteem, and she doesn't want to be known as a side piece. That's my guess. And I think Bill, who is by all accounts a stand-up gentleman, he's a very nice human being away from the game. I think he's trying to respect the love of his life. That would be my guess. She doesn't have anything on him. There's no...
Mm-hmm.
I think he is trying to respect her reputation. That'd be my guess. But I don't know that to be fact. I'm just guessing. Middle of the day texts always mean bedroom business later in the house. Could be. No but Monty's. No but Monty's.
No,
exactly
well,
right. Bill needs the advocates just in case. You're not wrong. Johnny Gonzalez, since I got Pervin wrong, don't you mean Jim Rome Dunze?
That's right. That's right. See?
No. See, when I say Jim Rome Dunze, that's referring to Rome Dunze, the receiver. It wouldn't. It
was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Jim Rome is the guy. Rome Dunze is not. So you have to kind of wordle that, you know. Fat Jesus, blink. Bill, blink once if you're in trouble. Right? Maury Alvarez, our great Floridian. The disgusting time frame is half your age plus 7 years. Anything less than that, and you're robbing the cradle. Okay, so what would be the disgusting time frame? Half my age, 26, plus 7 years. So you're saying I can't date somebody that's not 33 years old? So 19 years? What about you? What's half your age? 16?
Mm-hmm.
Plus 7 years?
23.
So you can't date somebody that's 23 years old?
Guess not.
So or they can't be 22. Would you date a 22-year-old? They're so immature.
Different place in life.
See, maturity is one of those things that matters to me as somebody like, as a guy.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about my wife so much is she's very mature. So, Cougar Tracks, Red Bull and Viagra equals maybe. I am so thankful I don't have extremity issues. You turn on a ceiling fan and I'm in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
What's an erection?
Red Bull and Cialis for when the time is right. For when the time is right.
You guys are being hyenas.
Well, James he does have loose bowels right now, so I give him a little.
Yeah,
latitude.
how's the butthole, dude? I mean, is it really that bad? Like
James lost his mind yesterday. For those of you just tuning in, he claimed that we ignored him in a paid
quote,
comment.
Not cool.
Yeah, we were rude.
And yes, for the record, we know you apologize. That doesn't make it better. So
Yeah, and anytime we could talk about your loose ass, I feel like
Janus.
I feel like it's a good day on the show. I mean,
The homie is showing shades of Southwest Airlines girl.
and this is not your first foray into butt cheeks. Like, I'm a little concerned. Wasn't it colitis last time where you were just like, yeah, you were just like,
Dude, you got to stay off the roller food, bro.
seriously, no more Buc-ee's for you. No more red dye number 40. Like, eat. I'm telling you guys.
What's he
eat
said at the
whole
bottom
food.
there?
I don't know. Yes, I'm not a 100% health. However, I take my next dose of Humira tomorrow. What is that?
Let's
Humira. Oh, isn't that? I think that.
Oh,
might be
Humira. Yeah.
HIPAA. What?
No, not HIPAA. Humira.
No, Humira might be HIPAA.
It can treat, let's see. It can treat everything from arthritis, plaque psoriasis, Crohn's disease.
Oh, you have Crohn's disease?
Ulcerative colitis. He probably has colitis.
Oh. James looks exactly how I imagined.
Yeah.
Okay. Johnny Gonzalez, we always ignore James, but manage to mention his name every other comment. Just saying. That's what I'm saying. Like he said, we ignored him yesterday. Dude, you get more run on this show than anybody else.
Yeah, basically, it's based on what I can see here, man. I hope this is
I hope
something
that
you
is
deal with
not
regularly,
the
bro.
case.
That's really rough.
Yeah, I really hope that's not the case.
In all seriousness.
Like we joke, but James is a good dude.
Dude, you got to have your oatmeal, bro.
Yeah, James is a good dude, and I hope that your health as well.
Yeah.
You got to stop eating fast food, you guys.
Yeah.
Well, certain people of us had a double del for lunch today. Got to stop eating fast food. You got to stop eating fast food. It's not good. Guys. Hey, guys.
Stay hard.
James might be the new Tanner. He probably is.
He might be.
I haven't heard nor hide nor hair
Um,
from Tanner Plummer in a long time. James, I can say that Monty's info on the Pac-12 has been spot on. That's why I watch every day. Okay. James is clearly a Washington State fan. We try to be. It's fine. It really is fine. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business is George Kittle, worthy of a contract, making him the highest paid tight end in the history of the NFL. We'll tell you that in 30 seconds.
When you've been injured in an accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate, because every accident has a ripple effect. It affects your time, your health, your ability to make money, everything. That's where the Advocates can help. Speaking with an attorney is simple and 100% free. We're available 24/7 for your convenience, and we'll take on the claims process so you can rest easy. Because you're not just a client to us, you're a person, and you deserve the best help you can get. You deserve an advocate.